Mike, tell our viewers what you've been doing since retiring in 2008.
Being with my kids and stuff. Kind of like seeing my kids grow up and being active in their daily lives. And shortly after I retired, maybe 2 or 3 years after that, maybe sooner, I can't even recall when it was, I started coaching, right? So I started coaching my son in football, and before I even retired, I was coaching in baseball and doing that. And then watching my girls play, doing gymnastics, cheer, and volleyball, traveling with volleyball and doing all that stuff. And now I've been coaching for 10 years at Northside Christian, being the head coach there, and having fun with it. Being able to coach my son during his high school days, and then now just continue those, the coaching days there. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I get to do, still continue to live my dream, which was obviously play football and at a high level. But now I'd be able to help kids perform at a high level and teach them what life is through the great tool I say through football.
Mike, you played your entire 12-year career with the Buccaneers. How important was it to you to stay with the organization that originally drafted you?
It was, especially looking back at it, right? Looking back on it and staying in one community, keep my family in one community, my kids being able to stay in their schools, but overall being a part of the Bucs is huge. The people that were there between the coaches, but even the owners, right? The Glaziers and all the people that work for the Glaziers, I have, family friendships with, and till this day, speak to them and do everything that can possibly. So it's always important. And plus, playing in front of obviously Raymond James, in front of the Tampa Bay community was unbelievable. It was very important. Obviously, you don't want to pick up and move your family, but at the same time, being in one organization and playing for a great organization and playing for the Glaziers and then winning the Super Bowl, it can't go wrong.
You know what, Mike? Let me pick up on that one. Obviously, winning the Super Bowl 37, that has to be your greatest team goal. What's the one individual goal you're the most proud of during your pro career?
Just the different teams I was a part of and how I went about the game, I would say, and in my passion and in my work ethic and my commitment to my teammates and my organization and my coaches and stuff like that. And I just wanted to treat the game right and play it with everything within my heart and do whatever I can do to help win a team. You know what I mean? Just in those ways, trying to lead through my examples. It was just special. I think it was just a day-to-day grind, hard work ethic that was instilled to me at a young age, and that I was so proud of. It wasn't I didn't have the greatest talent, but I promise you I was gonna outwork you and be able to do those things. And I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I just try to teach those ways in my kids that I coach nowadays. Again, it's within your heart and your mind and what you can fulfill and what you can do in your life.
Mike, coming out of Purdue, you were listed as a fullback, yet you held the single-season rushing record at 1,436 yards and a career rushing record at 3,635 yards when you left the Boilermakers. Those aren't fullback numbers. Those are running back numbers. Do you consider yourself a fullback or a running back?
Hybrid. Let's go hybrid, huh? I came out of high school, I got everybody recruited me to be a fullback, right? I got an opportunity in my freshman year playing Michigan at our house, and just off the traditional fullback belly play. I had 103 yards rushing, and got to do some good things to show my ability and to run the ball, and it just snowballed from there.
When you look at what's going on today, you were one of the first running backs that were really good at catching the football coming out of the backfield. I don't think people give you enough credit for that. Do you?
It's not my place and time to say, hey, I need credit for this or I need credit for that. It's The tape shows, and you can make your own judgments on whatever you like. But I always, again, it was another asset of my game that I took serious. That it's another opportunity for me to be able to have my hands on the rock, right? Coming out of the backfield, slipping in the backfield, doing the short passes and running along. Obviously, I wasn't running a seam route or a post route or a comeback or something like that. But again, running the wides, running the flats, getting the ball in the hands and being able to do some things was a key part of my game, and it was a key part of both offenses, both head coaches I was a part of, between Dungy and Gruden.
You know what, Mike? You made up half of the WD-40 tandem. What was it like playing with Ward?
Work, and it was great. Obviously, we had two different running styles, but we complement each other. Obviously, if one was hot, the other one, I'd be blocking for him, and understood it, and vice versa. And so again, we were both young backs coming out, and we learned from each other. And you see it nowadays. You see those WD-40 packages in a lot of offenses now, right? That bigger back, and then you have the scattier back, like obviously like work and stuff. But we're great friends, and we complement each other's game. And again, I mean, two different backs, but be able to pose that type of stress on a defense, open up a lot of different situations for each of us. So, I thought we complement each other well.
You know what, Mike? After you retired, you could have lived anywhere in the country, but you chose to stay in the Tampa Bay area. What made you and Nicole decide to stay here?
This is where it all began. Obviously, Nicole is from here. Her family's from here. But again, even if it wasn't, this would be home. Obviously, can't be the weather, right? And everything that we have in our dream state, especially being in the Tampa Bay community. But I think the people, I think in essence, everybody, all the fans, all the people, wherever I go, everybody's great. It's a warm feeling. It's a warm welcoming of a lot of thank yous. Thank you for a Super Bowl. Thank you for that. And but just again, the welcoming that the Tampa Bay community did for me and my family. Why leave?
Mike, talk about the Mike Alstott Family Foundation.
Yeah, so Mike Alstott Family Foundation, we do a lot of stuff, obviously, with kids and families. So we try to uplift the minds, hearts, and spirits of families and children. We're doing stuff with Ronald McDonald. We do stuff with Ronald McDonald House. We do stuff with All Children's Hospital. We do stuff with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we have a lot of different organizations that involve, some sort of kids. It could be, sick kids. It could be obviously unfortunate situation with kids. So we put programs together with different organizations like this, so we can build relationships with these kids.
Mike, describe your feelings when you went into the Ring of Honor.
It's an undescribable feeling. It really is. It's a situation where I was so fortunate to come here to the Buccaneers at the time we did, and be able to play in the old sombrero, right? To wear the orange and white, right? And to be a part of a team, right, through the Dungy era that transformed the Buccaneers, right, from the old stadium going into the new stadium, and be able to build that legacy of all of us, of those teams, amongst a group of guys that stayed with each other that for years and years and years and years, right? 8, 9, 10 years, we were all with each other, and be able to do that, and then bring a Super Bowl, right, to this community, right, especially through all the dark days and before that, and so I got to experience, right, not so much, but the transition from old into new a little bit, the new modern Buccaneers, and be able to do that, and now build a house, really with a bunch of great guys again, and coaches and owners and their administration, the Buccaneers, Raymond James that we talk about it now, that I get to, see my name every time I go in there, and be a part of that, is obviously undescribable, but, just all the hard work, sweat and tears and everything, and the injuries and, all the aches and pains or whatever, it's just everything goes away, you know what I mean? And, I can say that I'm up there with a group of guys, and don't get me wrong, there should be many, 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 many more guys up on there because, obviously it takes all of us to do what we've done in that era of when I was fortunate to play with. But again, be up there with some Hall of Famers and some legends and stuff like that. I'm blessed.
You know what, Mike? You had a neck injury that forced you into retirement. How's your health now?
I'm good. I'm good. I just had another neck surgery about 5 weeks ago. Um, I'm it really helped me out a lot. So doing good. You know what I mean? Just again, it's everything that um, it is what it is, right? And I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go back in time and say I'd rather do this or I do that. And um, what I've experienced through um, my time of playing from when I was 5 years old when I started to when I retired when I was 34. It was every minute of that time. I don't regret it, and I'm glad I played it, and I'm glad the people I've met and where I'm at now and how everything transpired. And if it took a couple surgeries here and there to make me feel better, it is what it is. And it's just again, I'm blessed to be sitting in front of you right now talking to you about the good times that we've had as a Buccaneer and looking forward to seeing what happens this year.
Was it hard for you to adjust to life after football?
Yeah, no, it was tough. It was tough. Even though that I even had that 2007 season to kind of like when I was on IR and still be with the team, traveling, doing whatnot, but it was tough. I mean, because again, if I didn't have this, I mean, everybody, if you remember, like my last 2 or 3 years, I was on 1 year contracts. I'm gonna retire after this year. I'm gonna retire after this year. I'm gonna retire after this year, and stuff like that. And just had that burn it that flame would not that go out until my neck couldn't take it anymore. So it was I probably would have played forever and until they cut me or something like that. So there's just when you do something for so long and you go, I don't even call it work. You go to a place every day and you have a common goal with a bunch of guys that at the highest level. Again, it's an unbelievable feeling, and what you do each and every day becomes so routine, right? Get up, go to the facility, work out, have meetings, right? And walk through, have lunch, get ready for practice, meetings after, and doing it. It's just routine. And once you don't do it, it's like, holy smokes, what do I do now? I'm so used to be going there to the Buccaneer State facility at leave my house at 5 to be there by 6 and to be able to do all the things I have to do. And it's just like you get lost a little bit and you have to readjust. You have to keep your mind occupied. And I think that's why coaching my son at a young age and be able to be the head coach for the last 10 years has helped me immensely. It really has, because if I didn't have that, keep my brain going, keep football going and stuff like that, something obviously that I'm very passionate about. It has really helped me a lot. And again, I'm blessed to be able to be asked to be coached there and be able to do it for so long.
What's the one thing you miss no longer playing for the Buccaneers?
There's nothing. There's nothing I miss. I miss putting the pads on. I miss putting the helmet. I miss walking in. I miss having lunch with guys. I miss the camaraderie. I miss everything. I miss everything. I just know that I can't do it no more. I think that's the only thing that I just finally sunk into my head, that I cannot do it no more. Once you're, even though I had the neck surgery, but years after, I felt like I can possibly still play and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But knowing that I couldn't because of my injury. But now, just there's nothing that I miss. I mean, there's nothing that I not like regarding what took place in my career.
You know what, Mike? This is my last question, but it may be the most important one. How's the golf game?
Golf game. The golf game was doing good when my son was home. Right, my son was home for from March until July. He's big into golf. Right, he loves golf, and so I was out there with him, but I really get away from it. I don't really like. I probably golf more in those 3 or 4 months when he was home that I've golfed in the last 10 years. So, but I get to the charity golf tournaments and I golf every once in a while, but it isn't more than 6, 7, 8 times a year that I golf. But it's it's not good though. Yeah, I like to hit the ball hard and far, and sometimes it doesn't go straight.